Sent to the future from the year 2000 by a glitch due to the Millennium Bug, I'm adapting to thrive in the peculiar conditions of the 2020s. Join me in a multimedia extravaganza as we surf the World Wide Web, catch up on 2 decades of video games and mess around with creative tools new and old. I'm Millennium Cyborg. Welcome to the new millennium. So, this is... Whoa! Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the new millennium. So this is probably the first stream that actually falls under the Surfing the World Wide Web part of my intro. And we're going to be talking about Vrml. If you were watching the intro, you actually already saw some Vrml. I'm going to switch our BGM to the usual one, just a moment. I threw that other one together last night. I felt like messing around and yeah, I'm kind of into it, but I think I'd get bored of it after a couple of hours. Turn it down a tiny bit. So, Vrml. It's one of the earliest forms of 3D on the web. I think it was originally released in '95 and formalized in 1997 with Vrml 2.0. And the reason that I suddenly decided I wanted to do this was that I was watching Sylvia Slugger's channel and she wanted to play this Flash game, Winnie the Pooh Home Run. I can't remember the exact title. Some infamously difficult Winnie the Pooh baseball game, and I remembered all of a sudden the existence of Flashpoint, which is a project. Let me bring you over to Flashpoint right now. So this is the Vrml example we had in the title, and this is Flashpoint. This is a really impressive project which seeks to, initially, it was created when it was announced that Flash was going to be deprecated. And people put together this huge effort to collect Flash games and package them in a format where they would be playable. So if we go and see regular Flash games, there's a massive collection of everything from the really big titles to really obscure tiny ones that weren't even a full game, or you know, just some kind of little promotional thing. And as I started exploring it myself, I discovered that they'd expanded from Flash to a huge number of other plugin types. And when I saw Vrml, I got so excited. I was never able to get actual Vrml content to run on my machine back in the day. I got barely running a French game by the name of Le Deuxième Monde, which initially wasn't Vrml but its own separate application. And I managed to just connect to that and walk around a bit, but never managed to find other people. And then there wasn't much in the way of Vrml content I found until, you know, then came Second Life and all that a few years later. Vrml was quite short-lived. Although it has successor formats, I've not really seen them in active use anywhere. But somehow the people behind Flashpoint managed to collect all of these different little worlds that were created during this short period of time, around 95 to maybe 2000. So there's lots that are just quite a simple, you know, just a simple geometric shape. This one, the heart of cyberspace, I quite like. I used it in the intro and in making the promo image for the stream. And it's not really interactive. There's a few other funny ones. I retweeted this one, the Cyber Banana. And so here what you can see, there are two main plugins that are still working in Flashpoint, and those are Cosmo and Blacksun. Blacksun is working within a separate player, and Cosmo is here running embedded in Netscape. And they each have their own controls for moving around the world. It's not like a WASD setup, but quite awkward mouse controls, which have sometimes been used in interesting ways. Here in the virtual banana world, there's not much to see. But once we get to some of the more elaborate virtual world, you'll see they've done interesting things to enhance the controls. So Vrml itself is like HTML, a description language you use to describe the world and its interactive features. And actually, a lot of the things that are archived here are themselves little microsites talking about Vrml and showing examples. So if we go to here, this actually explains what a Vrml document looks like. And it's a really awkward format to author, right? It's not, sorry, I'm turning the music down a tiny bit. It's not something you'd want to author by hand. You have to specify a rotation, for instance, by the axis rotation, and what it reminds me of is the OpenSCAD format for procedurally generated CAD files that I've messed around a bit with, but it's not a type of authoring that, it's not a workflow I find particularly easy to work with. I don't know how many of the demos we'll see here are going to be ones that people did by hand, or if there were other applications they were using and exporting to Vrml. It supported basic shading, some transparency. There's not really any, can't see the transparency against nothing, and some basic textures as well. One thing I haven't quite figured out yet is how the more interactive features are coded in. Whether you used JavaScript with the Vrml or something different. But there were games, so let's see. Let's start with some of the more simple examples. So this is just hello? Okay, this one's not loading. I should talk a bit about what it took to get this running. Although Flashpoint have done a great job of curating the content and getting the plugins to run on a modern machine, I still ran into some issues where as soon as the window size got to full screen on my monitor, which was 1440p, it would completely crash. And so I had to dive into the Netscape 4 configuration and also actually recompile some of the Flashpoint code to make sure that the windows weren't created too large when they first pop up and that things would actually run. So there's some interesting things. The VRML document, just like HTML, can contain hyperlinks to pages or to other worlds. So this is a slightly more elaborate world or site. I don't know why it puts you at, when you click, why it makes me jump above the level of the maze. I don't know if that's intentional, but we can have a look here. This is kind of like a you know, a collection of cool links that's been rendered as a hedge maze. And the wizard's not talking to us right now. So we can walk around, we can try and get to various places. I want to see what that sphere is. Is that Pac-Man? Humor links. So you see, we clicked on that 3D object and it took us to this page, which I'm sure is full of hilarious links when they were still working. Mr. T versus Mr. Clean. The mole hole. Maybe those are things we could investigate on a later stream. I do want to go back and see some proper, like, archive.org websites and things. Oh, that didn't work. There we are. So another feature in the VRML world is you could define some set locations to navigate between. So we can just click straight to some of these different pages or locations in the world that then we can click to get to a page. Is Happy Puppy... was that Home of the Underdogs? This viewer isn't showing us the addresses, so I can't easily check. Search engines and downloads, news, education, a list of hundreds of colleges' homepages, a slightly eclectic collection of sites here, but that's what a website was like in those days. Oh, I hadn't seen this one before. VRML. Hello? Yahoo's VRML links, VRML models. These won't work. The way that the Flashpoint player works is that it creates a local web server that it points the browser to, and that local web server will have its own route with the corresponding files for the curated, in this case the curated VRML site or the curated Flash game. And then it also launches a corresponding browser in some kind of browser, whether it's Chromium or Internet Explorer or Netscape with the appropriate plugins loaded and configured to run on a modern machine. Weather, that's quite a fun weather icon. TV. Stop. Vrml syntax error. Great. Well, it stopped it. So on top of this VRML foundation, there were actually some multi-user virtual worlds that were made, and this one called Cybertown, I think was made by the people who made the Black Sun plugin, and originally it came with multi-user chat and extra facilities. All that's been preserved, as far as I can tell, are the individual worlds that you could wander around in. So these are essentially equivalent to a VR chat room nowadays. This one, the plaza, is, you know, relatively boring. It's just a space you can walk around in, and then it has a bunch of buildings, and unfortunately if you try and enter any one of them, it just tries to load another non-existent world and then dies. But we can see what they were. We had the E-Plex. I don't know what that was. Drink Cyber Cola. I guess they wanted to sell real ads at some point. Public library. Someone called Mina. Kind of a cool cyborg person. Let's see what locations they had. City Hall. The map doesn't work either, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, interesting. I hadn't seen this one, so this is kind of an overview, a camera tour. This would have looked pretty cool with a bunch of people's avatars running around. Beam station. I'm going to click the beam station, I think, just in case. To fun park. Flea market. Cafe. Shopping mall. Well, beam station doesn't seem to do very much. Oh, interesting. Mothership, Newcomers Club, E-Plex, the clubs. I guess this is just a different way of reaching everything. I don't know why anyone would use this particular interface. Presumably they just had a list of rooms you could join in the interface that wrapped the virtual world. But I guess it's makes everything feel connected. So there's two other worlds from Cybertown that are available and preserved in Flashpoint. We've got the pool, which, you know what, I really like the pool. Visually, it's just a really cool design, and I wish that I could have this as a VR chat world. The you know, the design, the textures are so late 90s. It'd be cool to see people's modern avatars running around something like this. I haven't found any interactive elements in the pool. I've mostly found ways to drop down and get stuck. But this would be a cool place to just hang out. I like this extremely vaguely rendered city in the distance. Reminds me of the sort of thing I enjoy in Bryce. You know what? I was kind of last time I streamed Bryce, I was a bit stuck on my exact design ideas for the city. I could base it on this. I could take this as inspiration. This would be quite a cool thing to recreate. All right. This last one is quite fun. Actually, texture-wise, I don't know if it's a preservation issue, if the textures were there and are now missing. But this is the most feature-rich Vrml world I found. So you can see it's quite a large park. I haven't found a way. Is there movement, speed, very fast? Yeah, okay, very fast is workable. So we've got little animated elements. Like this little pool. Got this interesting water. I'm only partly aware of the issues involved in rendering transparency. Did I get stuck? I'm stuck. Here we are. Transparency is quite tricky to render in general, because order matters all of a sudden, and you actually see limited use of transparency in modern game engines, so I always find it interesting to see transparent effects in older engines. Hey Alki, hey Ren, nice of you to join us. So this is Cybertown Water Park, one of the remaining worlds from that have been archived from the Cybertown kind of multiplayer virtual worlds that were, I think, a pre-Second Life platform built on Vrml. And there's only 3 worlds that were archived. This one is the most interactive one. So the interfaces for these worlds let you zoom in between a number of different saved locations. And in particular, this one has a couple of rideable rides. Yeah, welcome to Cybertown. Whee! What I enjoy the most about this little ride is that there's no spline interpolation whatsoever. It's a straight line segment and then another straight line segment. And that just gives things a totally different feeling. Also, it's good to have the shortcut to go up there because climbing it manually would be a huge pain with this interface. And we've got another one here. This is the big red snake that we saw earlier. This one doesn't have as nice a view. Whee! And that's the big red snake. Also got, I don't actually know if you can ride these boats. that I saw going around the edges. So presumably back when this was still running, you'd have a bunch of people wandering around, and yeah, I was saying I'd love to see these VRML world exported and re-imported as a VR chat world. Ah, there we go. One little right here around the edges. Where does this go? Are we just gonna... Okay. I think that's about everything there is to see in this little world. Yeah. So there's also a bunch of animations. Hang on. There we are. And some pretty elaborate ones that some people created. I don't know what sort of tools they were using at the time, but I saw part of this one earlier, and it's pretty impressive. Let's see. Oh, sorry, it's really loud. That's some quality animation. Yeah, I apologize for any scuff, by the way, in terms of audio especially. I have to keep switching audio sources and fiddling with them to make this work. How about a roller coaster? I'm curious to see how this one looks. There's a lot of different VRML animations and worlds. I've only had time to check out a few of them. Oh, this is very small. Let's see, full screen. All right, so this one is in the Cosmo player, and so this one has the little star icon for a clickable element, and movement is just slightly more awkward than in the Black Sun player. Oh, my music is really loud now. Sorry about that. Can we look around? No, our point of view is stuck. Yeah, so most of the Can I really look around? I feel like I'm missing the action here. This is mostly the work of the Flashpoint project, getting Netscape packaged and running with a local web server. They did all of the archival of these VRML worlds. I did have to spend a bit of time figuring out how to get it to not crash on my machine, which was mostly an issue when full screen, and it would default to full screen. So I had to edit the Netscape for preferences file. This is a weird camera angle. I don't know what's going on there. I think we didn't survive the roller coaster journey. All right. Yeah, and then for the Black Sun player, which is used for some of the other games, I had to actually modify the source code to change the window size when it launches, because if it launched, this is only for the VRML plugins, if they launch at full screen on greater than 1080p, they just seem to crash. I don't know where that comes from, but I just hacked things until they didn't start full screen, and everything went smoothly after that. So there's some games that I wanted to show off, and then some that I thought looked interesting that I haven't had time to check out myself yet. This person, Kicker Ken, has made quite a few different VRML games actually. First of all, we've got this shooter, which is quite interesting. Cannot run multiple instances of Flashpoint secure player. What does it think is running right now? Let's see. Right, here we are. So some of the sites have been saved as individual VRML worlds, and some have been saved as a web page with some embedded resources and so on. So this one is going to start a new window, and I'm going to have to switch to that window. I'm also going to resize it. Let's see. There we are. Alright, so what's interesting about this is you don't have keyboard control and you don't have direct mouse control, but what you do have is a virtual joystick, just like an iPhone game. And it's just as awful to use as on an iPhone. Actually, maybe a little better, depending on your preferences. I've not gone very far in this game, but I found it fascinating that the concept was already there in this little VRML game. I really wonder how this is coded. If it's just JavaScript and, like, is there a VRML DOM? I don't know. I'll have to open it up and find out later. It's I'm using Flashpoint Infinity, which downloads individual games as you play them, because the full collection is 600 gigabytes and would take a very long time to download. But once you've downloaded it, I think the files are available locally somewhere. And yeah, there's no sound. I did select sound on, I think, but I've not seen the sound working. That's better than I did before. I really like the, you know, the look of the polygonal ships and everything. And so this person made multiple games. This one is slightly weird, but it's... Okay, it seems that the secure player needs a moment to properly shut down after I close it. There. This is a funny, I don't know what you'd call it. It's not quite a puzzle game, action puzzle. Vaguely reminiscent of other games of the era. I need to fiddle with the windows again. So the idea here is there's a cylinder that you're going to paint, and if the mice touch your cursor while you're painting, you'll lose. And you're trying to free someone trapped inside. Who's just a dancing avatar in a funny costume. So there was a standard for humanoid models in Vrml. I haven't been able to find much information about it beyond the fact that it existed. I don't know what sort of tooling there was for it. Obviously, I've been tempted to try to translate my own model into Vrml. That'd be a very neat thing to do at some point. Well, we blew up. 2 lives left. So there's a minimum size for the circle you can draw. Which adds to the risk. You can't just do a load of tiny circles and hope to get away with it. I'm just gonna go where the mice aren't for now. Oh, I didn't see that one. That was close. And yeah, you can get more points by drawing a larger circle, but it's a bigger risk as well. We're doing pretty well so far. Almost there. Just a few pixels left, really. That was close. We did it! And I guess this goes on for quite a while. There's also a train driving game that I had a go at. I don't really understand what I'm supposed to do. Let me again fiddle with the windows. There we are. I've never played Denture to Go or any of those games, so... Oh, we got some sound. Let me bring in the desktop audio. Getting a bit of noise. I'm confused that I seem to have like neutral was here, so do we have a lot of reverse speeds as well? I probably don't want to be going quite this fast here. Okay, so we've got a countdown until the next station. We're probably going to run out of time, but... Slow down here. Oh, almost. Okay, we're not... It's not instant game over. Alright, we need to... Okay. Well, we missed it. Overrun. Game over. Let's try it again. Honk honk. Trains have a lot of momentum. Yeah. It's hard to even imagine how much force it takes to slow down an entire train. Okay, we overshot again by quite some amount. I'm going to give it one more go. I wish I could see the map live. That would give me a better idea of when we're about to enter a station. So it was the turn after the little bridge, I think, that the station was at. No, it was the one after that. Yay! Passengers plus 0. Does that affect our mass and our acceleration? Oh, we've got a tunnel. I think I saw in the distance that a station might be... No, that's just another tunnel. It's my first time playing this kind of game. Doing okay. Surprisingly fun. Oh, no, I overshot. No. Overrun. Well, I've learned that trains are very heavy. All right. Let's head back into some of the other games. Actually, I wanted to check this one out. This is by the same author, but I think it's just a world rather than a game. Character no namae. I can't interact with this. Saying something about Internet Explorer. Second floor, first floor. Well, let's start at the bottom. Work our way up, because we want to start outside, right? This is going to involve quite a lot of fiddling. All right. Where are we? Is this the backyard? World itself is looking rather empty out there. Oh. No collision. Knock knock. I guess that's it. I'm just quickly clicking these other options, but okay, this one looks like it's different. Seeing a bit of the inside, but that's about it. Let's have a look inside then. Every time it launches in a tiny little window. I have to resize it and then switch to the new window in OBS. There we are. Well, this is quite nice. Let's put the BGM back on. It's very detailed compared to the other worlds we've seen. Lots of transparency effects. Detailed little objects. I should figure out how to tilt my head up and down. I've got different movement options: walk, slide, rotate, examine, fly, pan, jump. And none of them really work the way that you'd expect with modern controls. It's all just dragging my mouse around. Whoa. And okay. I'm standing on the table, I think now. Let's just reset our viewpoint. And let's see what the saved viewpoints are for the scene. Okay. Get a nice view of all the different objects here. So this is just one room, right? There's... okay, there is some elements outside, but they're not fully modelled. So to change room, I'm gonna have to go back and load up. Are there different rooms for different people? Let's see. I don't quite understand what each of these options are that I'm clicking on. Oh, I just clicked maximize and crashed it. Right, manually resize the window. Pick the correct window. All right. I guess this is the living room. Nicely modelled TV. Okay, not a huge amount here. Let's just pan our view around. Oh, that's nice. Nice little tea set. Some kind of buns, remote control. I want to see those ducks. Okay, I'm now using fly mode and it's very confusing. It seems to sometimes pull me ahead. There we are. These are quite nice. I think that's everything we can get out of this particular world. There are a few other things I wanted to try that I haven't had to go at yet. So this one I think is by the same person who made the animation earlier. Oh, I'm sorry. I just noticed that my my BGM is echoing on the desktop audio. Let's see. This is a very small window. I don't think I can make it any bigger. Oh wow. What are we shooting? Okay. Shoot the guys in suits. Don't shoot our agent from the animation. This is surprisingly good. Like the controls feel very responsive. I'm curious how they got the gun facing in the direction of the mouse cursor. I guess this doesn't really does it end? It says try to get a perfect 175-point score. Does that just mean that every single one of your points of your no, game over. Yeah, I mean, that was surprisingly controllable. Not much gameplay, but quite impressive. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back with some more of the worlds and animations I haven't had a chance to check out yet. So stick around. And we're back. So if you're just joining us, we're looking at Vrml games and animations preserved in Flashpoint, which is a preservation project originally just for Flash games, but that have expanded to quite a number of different browser-based plugins, and it's a really impressive project. Vrml itself is an early web language for describing 3D worlds, and I never got much of a chance to interact with it at the time, and I'm really glad that these have been preserved, even though, you know, many of them are only part of the total site or aren't quite working right. It's really fascinating to look at. I'm just going to start going through some of the various games and sites that I didn't have a chance to check out yet. Anything that looks interesting. How about this one? Morning Highway. Oh, this is by the same developer as some of the previous ones we saw. And I know for sure there are games out there that haven't been preserved in here yet, and I'm quite keen to myself look into it. I mentioned Le Deuxième Monde, which I used to try and get running on my PC. Apparently there's a Vrml version out there somewhere, and it's not in here, so I'm thinking of trying to track that down. And that was a French developed kind of Second Life alike before Second Life itself. Right, let's fiddle the windows. Let's see how this plays. Right, I need to physically grab the wheel. And I guess I'm just trying not to hit anything. Can I slow down? Oh no. Game over. I don't know what I was supposed to do there. Since I couldn't slow down. It's nostalgic even though I don't remember much of it very clearly. Yeah, I mean, for a start, graphically, it just... the limitations of the format really date it to the precise era when it came out. And it wasn't that easy to get running at the time. I keep having two vehicles next to each other, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a way to handle that, so that's probably it for this game. I like the tunnels though. Funky yellow colour scheme. Alright, I've been looking at this one. I want to see what this is. Those cute little spheres. Click them! Click them. I will click them. I don't know if they like that. Oh, they're happy again. Oh no, they're angry. Oh, they're sad. Now they're embarrassed. Sad again. Kind of an distant, orbiting sadness. And they're happy. And we've seen everything. If I ever get channel emotes, I should use some of these. They're pretty good. So there are lots of, you know, just models of things like an IKEA chair or Mercury. Let's look at Mercury. not terribly interactive. Nice to see nonetheless. And lots of people's individual sites about Vrml. The Virtual Reality Museum microsite. Okay, it's just the Museum of the Vehicles of Tatra, produced in the Czech Republic. Wow. And someone ported these into GTA Vice City. I'm amazed that there was a VRML website still being updated in 2004, 2005. So presumably clicking one of these will launch a world. Well, that's just an image. Alright, here we are. No saved viewpoints. Oh. A few interactive bits. Open the doors. Yeah, I'm really curious how people authored these in the first place. What kind of software and editors you'd use. Someone's campus. A movie theatre. Wow, this is peak web design. We've got bande-annonce, that's trailers. Prochaine sortie, coming soon. Critique, I guess reviews. Les salles, rooms. Or screens in this case. Biographie des acteurs, actors' biographies. And box office. Okay, so that one just opened something that says this is a list of all of the screens in Paris, but it didn't have any content. Okay, none of these actually, link to anything. But man. How many people installed the plugin necessary to see this this list? Here we see something that was very prevalent in the web at the time, little buttons that told you what was the program that would be that the website would be best viewed with. Plugins or browsers. And then there were lots of parody ones as well. And some for like, oh, this was authored in Notepad and all kinds of things. I want to see this one. Sphere Aversion. I've seen this on a YouTube video. What was it? This is turning a sphere inside out without causing any singular pinch points, I think. And you know what? The color scheme is the same as in the YouTube video as well. That's really cool. So how are these? Whoa. Wow. What's going on here? I mean, this must just be scrolling the UV coordinates of the texture as we move the mouse, right? It's a neat effect. That would be a good VTube avatar. Which one do you mean? The sphere turning inside out? They're all kind of quite freaky. And welcome, Jäger. This one's quite cool. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, the sphere is vaguely uncomfortable to look at. I like these ones. This one's cool. If I get sufficiently distracted at some point, I may have to start authoring some of my own. No, this one's kind of crashed. I may have to start authoring some of my own VRML content as well. The VRML Object Supermarket. Ah, this is interesting. Okay, wow, okay. Authored in Open Inventor, translated using IV to VRML utility from Sgi. And these ones translated from Rend 386 Vrml. I've never even heard of that. So the banana, that's just the banana. Same model we saw earlier. We've got a jet fighter. This is interesting because the this isn't the same plugin we had earlier. So what plugin is this? Live 3D for Netscape 3.0. Interesting. A small cannon. You know what? The controls in this one are way better. They're way more modern. I can right click, drag and rotate. A deck chair. A man made out of cubes. This seems very memeable. A very abstract person. You just slap some text on there. You've got the latest meme. A section of a window frame. I guess this is a CAD visualization. Yeah. Classic computer box. Jack in the Box. There's a bit of Z fighting going on. These ones aren't interactive. They seem like older formats, maybe. What we've got? Sgi Logo. Oh, that's very confusing to look at in 3D. Interesting. They say that this one is textured, but the texture hasn't come out in this model. Detail. Texture lighting. No. Virtual alphabet demo. Well, this is confusing. Seems like these didn't quite get their materials either saved properly, or in this environment they're not rendering properly. Dactyl Nightmare. Yes. Dactyl Nightmare was a VR game, arcade game, and I did manage to play it once at my childhood arcade. It was ridiculously expensive at the time. It was the equivalent of £1 now. At the time, that was a lot of money for a go at an arcade game. And I was very confused, but you know, there was I only managed to have a go once. There was always a queue for the machine, the VR machine. This is all in black and in grey, but the landscape was actually really colourful. It was called Dactyl Nightmare. That's the name. I could probably find some images, but I don't want to fiddle with my setup too much right now, because it was such a pain to get it all working. So that Dactyl Nightmare was the name of the game, and then I don't remember what the name of the VR setup was, but there was a big black headset, and then you stood inside a little circle at waist height that stopped you from walking away. Oh, swimming pool. Yeah, none of these have survived the process very well. Circuit board for Sega 3D glasses. VR art models. That's quite cool. Is there any interior detail? A little. There aren't saved viewpoints like in the other worlds either, to make it easy to see. This one says don't really know. Well, I don't know either. A man made of Vrml spheres. Yep. Buildings. Clock tower. Oh, I saw this in another one of the plugins that Flashpoint supports. The office. That's quite cool. The lighting's really funny here. It's not how many colours is that? Is that 65k colours or something? Lots of banding going on. Oh wow. Amination. No interior, it seems. Developments. Oh wow, there's a URL. Yeah, those URLs aren't going to resolve right now for multiple reasons. R&D. I wonder what this Oz thing was. It's really fascinating because you never know, like if you're gonna click a page that's just one small little demo that's not even finished, or an entire site with loads of examples. This one's nothing at all. This is the same building as earlier. Okay, that seems like the same thing. Crayola Land. Interesting. I don't think this one is rendering correctly. Vehicles, objects, scenes, shapes, miscellaneous. Gotta click the Millennium Falcon. This seems like it was just, yeah, modelled. In a slightly funny way. But I really wonder if there are textures that we're missing here. Let's look at some scenes. Ooh. Interesting. Yeah, there's really not a lot of options. I assume this is the most primitive of the viewer plugins that these are rendering in. So that was the Vrml Object Supermarket. So I just spotted something interesting here. We've got advice in Flashpoint saying, if textures are grey, preferences icon near the Cosmo logo in bottom right, graphics OpenGL renderer. Interesting. Oh, that's very... VRML warning. I hadn't seen these lights before. We've got named viewpoints, but only one saved. Why this was called VRML Hot, I don't know. Just seems to be one corridor. Is this someone's university building that they modelled? Oh. I just spotted try virtual caving VRML. That sounds amazing. How do we get this to work? I'm just looking for information on creating these caving worlds. I like the little guy climbing there. Okay, key information. Orthographic plan, wow. Elevation. Perspective view. Let me go back. Let's zoom in. Oh no. This is not my favorite of the VRML plugins. Does Seek let us click on what we want to be the center? Alright, well, this certainly looks cool. Let's have a quick look at another one. I was imagining an interactive caving adventure, but it seems like this is a serious map of various caves, which is also very cool. Oh wow. A simulator for the Curter mechanical calculator. And the previous instance is still shutting itself down. There we go. Wow, this page was still around when Google Chrome became a thing. I don't actually remember when Google Chrome first came out. Okay, I think it's gonna crash. There's a bunch of fatal warnings in a little side window here that you can't see on stream. And the whole thing crashed. Let's have a look at this instead. Welcome to Padre Island. Oh, we've got some ambience. There we go. Can I change my walking speed? Okay, so apparently there are a few keyboard controls. I can use shift to go faster. Nice little fire. This is fun actually. The style of pixel art rendered on 3D polygons, not something you saw that often at the time. Strange object. 2008 for Crowne. Oh, that's good to know. So that Vrml website was still up long after Vrml stopped being relevant. I guess if you're an enthusiast of the Curta calculator, then it's still just as relevant as before. It says Luna Park, but it looks like a bunch of buildings in a city. Interactive 3D desktop environment. An amusement park. Seems like we got a few of these. I need to switch our window again. Alright. Okay, we've got some kind of ambience. We've got some very quiet and awful music happening. Let me boost that a bit. I don't understand what's going on. This is not what was advertised. What are we hearing? The player's not even centered on the page. It's like stuck in on the right side for some reason. No saved viewpoints. This is just like some deeply cursed world. I don't know what's happening here. This is not a park. Were there any comments on the Flashpoint? Thingy Bob? There's a QuickTime version, but QuickTime isn't installed on this version of Netscape. The other two rides and 2 JPEG images are missing. I want to try out a few more actual games. Let's see. VR racing. There are buttons. There are HTML buttons to control the cars. Oh, it says keyboard control. Arrows. Okay. Let's see if it works. Well, it's not working right now. It's also a very low frame rate compared to other examples we saw. Center doesn't do anything. Okay, you have to press center to stop turning. There's no sound. Alright, that won't be in my top 10 VRML games. Yeah, nice flip. Yeah, a lot of these are just demonstrations of individual models. Evening Landing. This is by Kikenken again. I don't know whether this one person created a majority of the Vrml games out there, or if it's just consequence of what was actually archived. So what have we got? We've got... I can control the pitch. I think I can only control the pitch. I don't know what the alright, the green lines are the altimeter, and then on the bottom it's our progress towards the runway. Maybe the blue area is where it's safe to touch down. Surely all that time I've spent playing Ace Combat has prepared me for this. There we go. Yeah, interesting UI choices is the way to put it. I mean, it's making a lot of use out of a simple gradient background and then lots of vector lines. I'm very curious about this thing. Holden Boiling Water Reactor. I just said I wanted to play games, but... Okay, it's complaining about multiple instances, so I've got to wait for the previous one to shut down. I don't know what process it is even. I'm browsing through Task Manager and I don't see what exactly it is that's still running. Ah, it was Netscape. It was not the launcher itself. Okay. This is nice. What language is this? Is this Swedish? Ooh, so we can click on individual elements to zoom in. The zoom itself is only sometimes helpful. Start reactor. Nice. Got controllable transparency. There's a guided tour that's not quite... Oh, there we go. I stopped it early. Oh wow. Yeah, someone put a lot of time into this. I'm mesmerized. I still don't know what kind of reactor it is, but... Free rotation of the model, I think it said. Well, I can't quite... Guided tour. Oh. I think we're getting some reactor noises. And the volume, the audio is somewhat spatial, right? The volume changes depending on how close we are. Strangely, one of the coolest demos we've seen today. Oops. I apologize for any scuffed audio again. It's especially tough to juggle all of that today. Oh wow, Dr. Crowne's cube puzzle. I've seen this type of puzzle in real life. I don't think these are the optimal controls for this. Oh no. Wow. Can you imagine trying to solve the puzzle with these controls? Hard enough to even get an idea of what all of the parts look like. Yeah, I'm not going to try and solve this now. But that's cool. Well, this looks like a game. Unable to start playing MIDI sound. Oh, we're missing out on a MIDI soundtrack. A network error occurred. Connection reset by peer. Oh, I think it's working. Right, let's see. Okay, I can't resize the window. But I can capture it. Right. That's really loud and annoying. Alright, let's see. Click to move around. Can I turn off the sound? I'll mute it for you and suffer through it on my end. Oh wow, that's a duck. A rare yellow-footed booby, soft on the outside, crunchy on the inside. That's a reference to commercials for dime bars. We're seeing a lot of the same things so far. Can I dive deeper? Okay, this is kind of a Vrml tutorial. Click the gravity button to stick to the seafloor. Chomp, chomp, chomp. This guy's sleeping with the fishes. Seems to be having a good time. The audio is driving me absolutely insane. Yeah, that's true. It's a bit grim for a fun, cartoony little shot game. Right. The audio for that was constantly making that little blooping noise. Let's check out maybe a couple more things before we wrap up. This looks cool. Oh, we've got music. Whittle the volume a bit. Interesting choice for the water texture. Okay. Pleasant enough environment. And there were a few others in this Beyond Manzanar series. Camp scene. I guess this must be a Japanese internment camp in California or something, based on the headlines. Were these all part of one art project? Interesting. I imagine this isn't the complete thing. I like the look of this one. What language is this? Hungarian. Music back on. Does this friendly character say anything to us? No. Okay. Oh, wow. Yes, some of these are toggles. Some of them I'm not sure. I suppose these are the developers. There we are. I'm getting slightly better at operating these controls. Maybe all the toggles are there to save on the amount of total polygons or something. I don't know if any kind of culling would have been available in Vrml if you could, you know, define. Probably couldn't define portals or anything fancy like that. Oops. Okay, I clicked on something invisible and it tried to bring me to some defunct website. Earth Moon. Just need to wait another moment for it to unload the previous one. I think it is the Netscape task that's not ending. Right, got it. Ooh. Yeah, I'm a sucker for transparency effects like this. I think it looks really cool. Maybe we'll end it here with this cool view of the Earth. Yeah, so this was a bit of a messy, eclectic stream, but as you can see, the things that have been preserved are messy and eclectic themselves. I really wanted to do this stream as soon as I realized that so many little VRML sites were still available and preserved in Flashpoint. There are many other plugins in Flashpoint, and I do want to return to them at some point. Lots of fun Flash games and other obscure plugins that could be quite fun to have a look at. I'd never heard of Shiva 3D, for instance, or Zara. They even have some Silverlight content. I don't know if there's anything worth playing that was made for Silverlight, but there's something to look into. But yeah, this was a lot of effort to get working, and I'm looking forward to next stream where I'm just gonna sit down in front of Zone of the Enders 2 and just start playing and not have to worry about all of the weird audio sort of switching and everything. How are we doing on no one else to raid, so I guess we'll just wrap up. And thanks a lot to everyone who dropped in. It's time for me to go. If you, like me, have caught the Millennium Bug, make sure to watch the next stream, or find me elsewhere on the World Wide Web by clicking on the links below the video. I've been Millennium Cyborg, keep that future vibe, and I'll see you in the world of tomorrow.